Good morning, good morning. Quick sound check. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Sound is good. Awesome. Thank you, thank you. Hope you guys had a good weekend. And markets are moving. Well, I take that back. Metal markets are moving. Individual indices here are a little bit slow, but I think we might be able to make something work. So let's dive into that. My plan for NQ to fail 900 for today happened overnight. Love that for me. Yeah, same. The move in gold here. If you read the Sunday stock talk, oh, I forgot to tag everybody in that. There we go. Is there. So if you read that Sunday stock talk, the trade in which I really liked, which was essentially the first thing I talked about, was the GC pullback to 45.7720s for longs. First target being those overnight highs at 46.12s, which we did technically do that. We just ended up doing it like in the overnight session here. So like I put that out at 10:50, and 30 minutes later, essentially right down in there is where we ended up making those lows, and kind of doing that. So unfortunately that happened because that was a nice, essentially like 50-point move that gold moved in the overnight session there. And then for the NASDAQ, kind of same looking thing. I was thinking we'd fail, this 25,900s, obviously, which we did pretty much right away. And then now we've kind of gone so far, it's like, okay, are we going to rally back to try and test it? Or are we going to maybe just kind of pop up here towards like 780s and then fail and roll over, which is certainly like within the realm of possibilities there. Or is this thing going to try and go lower first before really any kind of rally? And it's in that weird spot where it can essentially do, it could do any and all of those things. It could actually do a combination of all of those. It could go lower first and then rally some of it back. Or we could try and go higher first and then get absolutely smacked. So from an indices standpoint today, the one thing in which we do have that I like is we do have volume. So we're at 228,000 contracts traded here so far this morning. So volume's looking good. Same thing in the S&Ps, like 69.93 quarters is 30 points above here basically at this point. And it would be tough to want to think that we want to sell from there if we rally that back. But essentially that's kind of the game plan, is let one of those two levels come into play, which is kind of far away. So we don't have any real news announcements here today. We've got a bond auction later, so nothing necessarily in the works for today. Tomorrow, however, 8:30, we've got some red impact news folders. So I'm kind of leaning more towards the side today of just being a little bit quiet. I did say, yeah, so I wrote overall, I think there's some decent opportunity on the board for the week, and it will come down to patience and entries that fit our plan to take advantage of that. There's likely to be one or two trades that just work and work really well, and it's our job not to choke those out too early and just let them work. The question becomes is one of those, one or two of those types of trades gonna happen today? And I just want to kind of like set the expectation that I don't necessarily think that it will be, right? So I also wrote, we have red impact news folders Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So at the moment, I'm thinking that gives us our volatility to work with, which means that the volatility we currently have at the moment is not my favorite. So I say all of that to say I'm going to take it slow here this morning and then let this market kind of prove itself here one way or the other. I am still keeping an eye on gold and silver though, even with this pullback here, which is $1.70 now in silver, which is kind of nuts to say. I'm still gonna kind of let this come into me here a little bit. Oh, I don't have volume. There we go. That should be better. Tesla with a little gap down here. There's that little NASDAQ rally towards like 780s I was talking about. It was kind of that area in the overnight session we really couldn't do much with. Russell and Dow hard bars down, S&P's NASDAQ green bars trying to fight it back a little bit there. I can't say I expected us to just rip off the open like that in NASDAQ. NASDAQ just exploded to the upside. 100-point rally in 2 minutes and 30 seconds here. Anybody try a long for some reason down there? I don't really know what the strategy would have been behind that outside of just buying the open on a pretty ugly little gap down, but It's a very interesting NASDAQ rally here. Russell Dow, more so Dow getting smacked. Coming into the day, we had more weakness in the NASDAQ than we did in anything else. And it was same last night. It was down almost double from a percentage change standpoint as everything else, but that doesn't seem to be the case here now. The rally back is very interesting here. Also, by the way, there is a new giveaway I just dropped in the giveaways chat in Discord there for you guys. The question becomes here is, do we play, there's no levels down here, there's nothing to work with, but do we play Russell Dow to catch up? Or, like I said, it was going to be a tough idea from a short if we rally 30 points back to 93s for S&Ps and then look to short, but I mean, essentially here we are. NASDAQ opening move is 138 points to the upside. NASDAQ's about 30 couple points away here from getting up into that 908. And kind of like Meta. What are you trying to do with Meta? What's up, Starboy? Yeah, no. Nasdaq rally back here. We got the Russell essentially about to make new highs here on the day. It's essentially a reversal bar there. Same thing in the Dow almost. And S&Ps are going to be running in this 93 quarters here in just a minute or so. It's going to be a tough it's going to be a tough short to think we erase all this and just go back towards lows. But there's also no reason why we can't. That's the other thing. I mean, the levels in the Russell here are 26.0850s, which we're 20 points away from to the downside. And they're 26.4820s to the upside, which we're about 20 points away the other way now. So we're pretty much as close to smack dab in the middle of those two levels as we possibly could be. PLTR. I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but I don't love it at the same time. All right, S&P's here into 93 quarters now. That was a quick 25-point rally so far on the day for S&Ps. Russell and Dow did both at least retake that big red bar first initially on the day. We might establish some sort of divergence here if NASDAQ wants to come up and trade 908s. Then we could potentially look for on a short side. What's up, Coley? I don't know if I can short it either. I'm just saying we might establish the divergence. Whether or not I'm willing to actually short that or not becomes the question, right? Russell's kind of coming back off fairly decent there. About 5 points or so now. S&P is rejecting right at 93 quarters. I think I might give this to like 10:15 this morning, and if we don't change something up here, we might call it early on a Monday here. Like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we should have a ton of volatility. So I don't love this Russell weakness all the way back. NASDAQ, S&P weakness, rally back up into levels, 200 points within what, 15 minutes so far? uh, excuse me. I could always play a little game with NASDAQ here, trying to go long and see if we can't get up to 908s. I don't necessarily love that idea either, but it's probably not terrible. Russell's back at opening print there. NASDAQ's kind of hanging on to this like little 850-ish area now. I wouldn't be surprised if we dip kind of under this 834 one time, and then if we are going to try and pop up to those 908s, we probably should do it from in here somewhere. S&Ps are back to 93s. You could try small longs here in NASDAQ. I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. It stops about 30 points to try and make 50 at the moment. It's not the greatest of risk rewards. Like don't get that misconstrued there, but we probably should try and pop up there. That's what would make sense here, I think. The highs are 892s, levels 908. Russell's holding opening print 3 points or so above. There's the target area. There's 909 traded exactly. All right, well, that idea worked, technically. Trade it right to 908. S&P's kind of act like they want to keep going. NASDAQ kind of looks like it wants to keep going now, too. I don't know. I think this is going to be tough. I don't want to. I mean, that didn't even give like a 2-minute shimmy or nothing. That's pretty bad. We had the right idea, just timing was insanely quick on that. I don't know. I don't trust this. I don't love the gap under green type of situation, which we weren't technically all the way under green, but we were at one point last night down at 625s. I mean, we were pretty much right at the lows from Friday there. 15 points off of it. Oh, you took it? Nice. Nice. Good work, dude. Anybody else take that long attempt in NASDAQ there? It was pretty quick. I mean, all in all, that was what, like 4 minutes? Nice. Good work. One and done for the day. I don't think that's a bad idea, to be honest. Yeah, the risk reward wasn't fantastic by any means, but it just made sense that we would test 908s considering S&P's tested 93s. And that's going to be the struggle here is like we kind of already made, I mean, NASDAQ's up 177 points. He said, let's trade silver now. Like we've kind of already made, if we were thinking that we would rally or look to go long in some way, shape, or form, like this would be target area. So it's like anything above here is just extra, but I don't think that it's necessarily something we really want to participate in. So I'm kind of like the best trades of the day, which I don't necessarily think they were that great in the first place, have probably already taken place is the problem. So, and even if we look at metals, I mean, gold here, opening print, right in here, 46.19s. We're a couple points beneath it now. I like it. I still like it for more upside. But I mean, this 45.77 at some point comes back into play in there, I would imagine. And then in silver here, kind of same picture. I don't trust either of those at the moment. Russell here not able to get new. Did we get new highs? 34s. Yeah, we did by a tick. Wow. Russell kind of coming back down. S&Ps and Dow still making new highs here on this bar. Yeah, we certainly could give some of it back. There's definitely an argument to be made there. The only thing that I don't love is S&P is trading 93 quarters like it did and then pushing through, because like that just kind of changes the game. And again, I'm looking for one or two really good trades this week, and it's like, is that today considering the things in which we have, right? Like, I'm not saying there might not be a trade, and there certainly was a trade just a little bit ago in the NASDAQ, which would probably be good for, 50, 60 points. Maybe more of you are still holding it here at this point. Who knows if we rally all the way back up to 984s, which I also don't really want that to happen either. Like, selfishly, I want 984s to stay until later on this week. And then if it's going to get taken out, let it get taken out then. That's just me though. Am I married? Yeah. The ring. That shit's tatted on there. It ain't going nowhere. I've been married for a decade, dog. A decade. Yeah, I got two. I got two. Nasdaq's still not pushing. Nah. See, this is the part where like I kind of want to do some dumb shit. Like let's short Nasdaq off 908s now, while S&Ps are 10 points through the level. Oracle. I kind of don't mind that weekly. That daily can chill. They won't have earnings for another couple weeks yet. I don't know. That thing came off hard. 340s back to 200. The chuckle. Yep. I know it's crossing my mind too on Nasdaq. I see it right here off 908s. Joe's probably short. 10 o'clock here. All right, what you guys know about? See? Let me see in my coffee cup. I am a beaver believer. All about the beaver. All right. Oh, Never mind. Somebody knew when they put that on there, right? Had to have. NASDAQ coming down a little bit off 908. Gold's actually trying to push back up towards opening print here now at the moment. Gold trying to push above. Silver's got a little bit more. It's got a rally yet. It sounds crazy, but I mean, silver is moving $5-6 a day. I don't know that it's out of the question that we don't see freaking 90 plus on this thing this week. Options expiration in there is not till the 27th. It's another 2 weeks, 15 days. Those options are crazy. I don't know if anybody's ever looked at futures options. The pricing right now on those things is absolutely wild. Gold pushing above. I mean, I'd imagine it is. I mean, I would imagine that any technical indicator thing, momentum, average, true range, whatever, anything you can think of is probably off the charts at this point for silver. Because that move is insane. NASDAQ's coming off those 908s here. I might kick myself for not doing that, but I still don't fully trust it. Gold gave a nice move off those 45.77s. I'll trade pretty much anything. I'm not touching it up here at this point. I mean, it should have opened somewhere like under 4,600. 45.90s. somewhere in there would have been kind of perfect. Not 46.19s where it's at currently from an open perspective. Had we opened somewhere right around there and then pulled back and traded 45.77s and then looked to make the move from there and stuff like that, I would have been much more interested in it. The dilemma I'm having at the moment, S&Ps are above 93 quarters, right? NASDAQ's beneath 908.50s. Russell is still exactly at 21 points to the upside, 19 points to the downside to levels. The Dow has nothing to work with, and it's just kind of there. I think I even wrote in the Sunday Stock Talk. Yeah. YM kind of feels like it came to the party with the Russell, but it's being socially awkward here and doesn't really know what to do at the moment on its own. That's essentially it. Like, it decided to try and go lower and then higher, and now has what, a 400-point range on the day, 350-point range on the day. Yeah, 354 points. All it did was go lower for 2 minutes and then rally back for 6 minutes, and then essentially is going sideways. We're at the upper end of that breakout from over opening print. So like, it has no idea what it wants to do. Meanwhile, Russell's pulling back. So I don't know. We're going to run into a dilemma here. I didn't necessarily expect the action to kind of unfold like this, like so broad array. I expected not this, I should say. I expected some kind of choppy, potentially trying to fight the area, right? But I didn't think we'd see S&Ps, essentially almost turn green, get above 93 quarters, especially not within the first 15 minutes of the day. I didn't see that being the case. And then NASDAQ to be fighting to get up over what would be that same level there at 908. So it's like, it's not perfect. And again, we wrote all this out in the Sunday Stock Talk. So if you're not in the Discord, you can read it for free if you join the Discord for free. So I would do that if I was you. Which I can grab a link for that. I think it's this one. Full free. And then there's a giveaway as well. You guys can enter full free in the giveaway chat at the moment. Giving away a Take Profit Trader account. For them, we did run one last week here here on YouTube. I guess we could do that again as well. If anybody wants, we'll do like a Apex giveaway or something. The dilemma I'm gonna have here is the freaking NASDAQ trying to get back over 908s. What are you saying? What are you down for? If NQ retest highs again, you're down to short. I don't love the Russell mix up in there as well. I think the trade is going to be second hour of the day for me. NQ and ES have levels that are set up in such a way that I think one of them retest at least one, then take whatever the chart gives. Yeah, which could be, I could make an argument for an S&P long off 93 quarters. Like, it's not a terrible argument. It's a better argument if like Russell probably makes new lows and gets a divergence, like when that's happening. maybe. Um, at the same time, Nasdaq technically already has the short. It's not clean, but I don't know. I'm finding a lot of reasons as to why we shouldn't really do anything. Like, there's definitely going to be something to do. Is it the thing we want to do or not? It becomes the follow up question to that. Yeah, that's not bad either. An S&P 15-minute 123 and good Nasdaq above the level. I do think Russell probably makes new lows. Like at this point, we're so close, it might as well. I don't know. I'm probably only going to give this a few more minutes to be honest, and then call it a day. I'm not super interested in trying to force this on a Monday when Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday has insane potential. We trade 93.75s there. 2 tick front run of 93/4. Like, that's also going to be obnoxious. If the trade that does end up setting up in here is just like front runs and obnoxious little shimmies and stuff. Took a NASDAQ stab long here at 79, stops at 6.7. 6.7. I don't mind that. A little 12-point stop. 10 contracts, just a light $2,400 risk, I'm sure. Oh, shit. It worked. Did you guys see that? Oh, I didn't realize that thing was working. Sweet. Is that you, Daniel? Mamba? I'll be slightly surprised if you've never subscribed. Subscribed to the channel. Hmm. S&P's front run of 93 quarter there with a 93.75 print. NASDAQ here just tested 907s, 908s on prior bar. Russell is maybe going to try and hold with no divergence. Dow is right at opening print. NASDAQ just poked above. This is the NASDAQ short area off 908.50s again. I don't love either side super well. Also, can we just take a moment to respect the 984.50 level from last week? Like, this was in place obviously prior to Friday's action, and we traded legitimately 1 point through. Like, the level of accuracy on this at the moment. That's also why I want to like save this. I don't really want that to happen today because the potential from there, which again is in the Sunday stock talk, is 26,314. It's like that's the trade in which I'm really hoping that we see this week. Like, fingers crossed, would be super okay with that trade. 25,984.50s. Our target would be 26,314 and a quarter. Let's just say 25,934.50s just to put this on the screen here. This is what that trade would potentially look like, something like this, right? Like, that's the trade in which I would really like. You know, we're talking a 330 point move to go ahead and get up into that, you know, 314 area. With a 50 point stop loss, it's still a 6.6 to 1 risk reward ratio. Like, that's the trade in which I would really like to see this week. Could you make an argument the same thing? We short off 908s. Targets are down here to 569s, you know, overnight lows at 630. So there's like 250 to 350 points worth of room we could move today. Sure. Is it my favorite? Does it check all the boxes and all those things? Not exactly. So that's the part where I'm like, could we be shorted here? Probably. Could we also be looking at S&P long off 93 quarters? Probably. Could we also look at the Dow coming right off this opening print here at 450s, trying to hold here now as well? Yeah, maybe. So I don't love necessarily any and all of those outcomes. NASDAQ right back to 908s. If you can dodge a wrench, you can buy the dip. It's awesome. I want to push the button so bad since I'm sitting here. I can't even lie. I'm having to talk myself off that ledge. Minus 340s on the ticks here now. Really no pressure against that for NASDAQ here. $10.21. NASDAQ might work up through this 908s while S&Ps hold 93s. That would change the game a little bit though. If both S&Ps and NASDAQ are kind of singing off the same sheet of music, wanting to maybe potentially hold this level, this area. We'll find out in a couple minutes, but that could be something a little bit different there. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. Nice, good work, Osborne. 79. Dow just came back, retested opening print there. NASDAQ rejecting here. Okay. I'm going to try a very, very small NASDAQ long. Like micro size. Stops under 895. It's about 25 points. And then I'm just going to let that do its thing. If we rally, we make these new highs, we fail, and we go lower, then so be it. I'm using this 5-minute bar as the stops. The lows are 898, so I'm putting them at 895s. If we're going to break out and do the thing, then that's the only way which I'm going to play it. I am risking I'm risking about 20 to 25% of a full R. So we are like, again, we are tiny, tiny size on this. If normally I'm looking to risk like $100 on a trade, for example, I'd be looking to risk 20 to 25 bucks on this particular trade. I don't love it. I don't necessarily care one way or the other how this works. But if we do make this break and we get up through 984s, then it's like I could just come back and we're at like 26 300s on the day, which is like 400 points from here. And I would be a little bit sad if that happened today and I did not have anything to participate in that. Oh yeah, Google moving. A little opening print retest there, and 8-point rip off that. So yeah. So I put that risk on. My entries are right around 920, 919 quarter technically is where I got filled at. There was a little kind of 2-minute bar break beneath that set that 898 low. And that's just essentially what I'm looking to play it with. We could certainly fail this, and I would honestly prefer that because I would rather, when we trade the 26 314s, if we trade there this week, I would much rather have a full size position on than a peewee position. But this is the divergence that is either going to take us back down towards the overnight lows at 600s and change, or if we're actually going to hold and get through this and push through 984s, then we can rally. So I am okay with taking the tiny stop one way or the other. Does that make sense? Any questions? Put my stops in here. The one thing that is possible and would certainly shake us out is if if S&Ps do test 93 quarters. Since we did get that 93, we front ran it, right? And we got 93.75. So if we were to get that 93 quarter again, then in theory, NASDAQ could come all the way back down to like 880s or something. I don't necessarily know that that's going to be the case or not. And if it did, we would probably be failing this 908s at that point. So yeah. What I get for Christmas? I just got we got some stuff for the Nintendo Switch, and I got some new tools. Nothing too crazy, honestly. Mostly just the new tools and stuff. It's tough because Emily got me like the normal like stocking stuffer things, some different types of colognes and socks, underwear. She got me a bottle of whiskey or something, I think. A couple cigars, like the normal stuff like that. But it's kind of tough because like the normal stuff that anything I want, I just kind of go get. So it's like there's nothing I necessarily need. So yeah, a couple little fun things like that. I think she did give me what did she give me that was a surprise? I'm trying to remember. Ask for another baby? No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good with 2. Bro, you spend 2 hours with my youngest kid, and you might never want to have a kid ever. Like he is a cute little shit, but holy hell, he's a lot of work. No, my oldest is the runner. She bought you some evals. That is awesome. That is awesome. That's a good woman. Yeah, Jackson's the oldest. Yeah, he's slowly getting back into training for this year's races. Fingers are crossed that he can maybe take gold this year at the Junior Olympics, which would be pretty freaking sick. I would be I would be ecstatic for him. That'd be pretty sweet. We'll see though. He's got some work to put in. I'm kind of trying to get him. We might we might start doing it. Is we've talked about it. Is setting him up a social, like TikTok, Instagram, and getting some footage of him running and like some kind of build him a little bit of a brand around running and all that, and see if we couldn't get him some sponsors and stuff. Because he did he did technically make Junior Olympics for 7 and 8 year olds last year, and he was only 6. So if we could set him up with something that he can kind of either start earning some brand deals or sponsorships or something from, I think it'd be pretty dope. All right, I'm flat Nasdaq there. That did come down and trade 895s. Like I said, it had the possibility to fail, especially if S&Ps want to retest that 93 quarters. I'd be super cautious on longs. And I say that while Russell and Dow are maybe trying to rally, S&Ps and Nasdaq are failing. So it's a really interesting kind of situation there. Nasdaq technically did hold. Yeah. Yeah, there's a giveaway live right now in the Discord giveaway channel. Giving away a take profit trader account. Nasdaq came down pretty hard there off that divergence. S&P is about to trade 93 quarters. I'm gonna take my little loss there on the Nasdaq and call it a day. I think I kind of had to do that because if we did push over 984s and then ran today and it didn't provide anything, any sort of entry, I'd have been a little upset that I didn't have something on. So it was worth it from that standpoint. But at the moment, the divergence that's standing there, we look at the 5-minute chart, we see a beautiful divergence in place for Nasdaq here. It's pretty. Russell and Dow though are battling it though. So I don't know. I said it this morning. Literally like one of the first things I put in the chat here this morning. 9:13 I wrote today is not my favorite day. So that's looking to be the case here. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna Optimus Prime it and roll out. S&P's just traded that 93 quarters too. We did get that little shimmy. Oh, funny markets, funny markets. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, and that's it's so tough. That's potentially the long there, but NASDAQ still says the same from the rejection off 908s. I don't want to try and like fight that either. If markets aren't figuring it out, then I'd rather just let them figure it out and then tell me like, hey, okay, we're done doing whatever this is at the moment and we want to go here, as opposed to sitting here trying to figure that part out. So I could just always say, hey, I think we can go here, and then I also think we can go here, and just put an upper target and a lower target, and then whichever one we do, I'll be like, I called that. But from right this moment, that's a tough argument to be made for both directions. So but yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you are new here, please click the subscribe button, hit the little bell notification, give me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it, and we'll be back tomorrow here. S&P's just printed one more time there, 93s. Like I said, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week, which was written in the write-up there, it's kind of my like ride or die for this week of how I think the thing's gonna go. Then I think those are gonna be the better days to trade. So I'm not too concerned by this at all at the moment. And the fact that we already have, I mean, a 33-point range on the S&Ps for the day is like, that we pretty much had that like 15, 20 minutes into the day on a Monday morning. And we had a pretty decent overnight range as well of like 60 points, 70, 08s down to, yeah, basically 60 points. So I'm not at all concerned by a lack of volatility or anything like that this week. So, but yeah, I'm going to roll, get my day going, do a couple other things. Russell and Dow here look like they might want to play a little bit of catch up, specifically the Dow, and that'll make things interesting a little bit here. That low 2650, 2640s opening print. So Dow probably not a bad long idea either. Back down there off opening print would have been nice. Either way, gold making new highs too. So there's definitely some things moving, just tough entries and kind of all around, not necessarily the things in which I want to do. So I'm all right with it. Silver, same thing. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna roll. Appreciate you guys as always. Like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. Like I said, make sure you enter in the giveaway that's in the Discord for free, and read that Sunday Stock Talk. And we'll see. We got earnings coming up here. I think they start next week actually. Let me check the date real quick. The 20th. Yeah, next Tuesday. Next Tuesday for Netflix there. So sweet. All right, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow.